What is going on, everybody? My name is The Samp. That was Mama T and the Marks singing us in. But you know what? It's not about Mama T and the Marks, and it's not about me. It's about the man sitting beside me right now, ladies and gentlemen. Winnie the Pooh, fuck you. Yogi Bear, fuck you. Everyone else except Smokey because he's got a good message, right? Ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen, I give you the king of the jungle, the ruler of the world, not Oba, but my man sitting right beside me, right here, right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the one and only Professor Motherfucking Bear.
guys, girls, uh, Samp is just too kind. It is it's the power. It's oh yes, like the mega powers coming together, brother, and we just explode all over podcasting. So
Boosh!
definitely the Professor and the Samp.
There you go. The Ron Jeremys of the wrestling podcasting world, splooshing all over the place. And if you don't know,
I
then
was gonna
then
say,
then
all you kids that don't know what we're talking about, don't go look it up.
just leave it be. I'm sorry. You know what this is an effect of, Bear? We're doing this show, and honestly, it hasn't even been 12 hours since AEW went off the air. Okay. The show ran 4 hours and 55 minutes last night. And I'm not talking 0 hour.
No, no.
Okay. The show started at 5 and ended at 9:55 Pacific time. 5 hours, Bear. Five
Yeah.
hours plus maybe 2 hours of zero. Those people did a shift of work in that stadium last night. And here's the thing, it worked in their favor because it was in San Jose. So really, the show didn't really affect anyone on the West Coast per se. The
Right.
downside to it was we had to go to bed after. There was no grace period for us out here on the West. We
Well,
had
hey,
we had a
I
crazy
was
week
gonna say,
here. We
I was
we had
gonna
a
say, in the West, you feel that way. Imagine how many people going to bed at 1 in the morning. People leaving the venue.
yeah.
Good God.
Well, I mean, leaving the venue would be leaving at a normal time for the people out here.
Right, right. That's
Right.
true.
So from that perspective, it wasn't too bad. I mean, in terms of finishing before the subways closed and everything, they gave the West Coast an ample time, unlike New York, where everything shut down afterwards and no one knew how to get home. You know,
Right.
you'd think they learn a lesson from that, but man, I'm telling you, we had whew, how do we do this? Saturday we had about 2.5 hours of wrestling, and then it stopped. There was really nothing else. I don't know why
Well,
everybody stockpiled on Sunday. It started at 11 a.m. with TNA,
yep.
and that literally went and gave us a grace period of about an hour, unless you wanted to watch the pre-show for NXT. NXT started at 4. These guys started at 5. NXT finished at 7, which was on the WC or the
Yeah.
CW, sorry, on mainstream television. Interesting. So
I
head to head
got
with the
some thoughts
first
on
half
that too.
of AEW, which went till 10 o'clock at night. Crazy night of weekend. Who won the weekend, Bear? I'm going to put you on the spot right now. Who won the weekend?
Um, Honestly, if we're just going by headlines
Yeah, yeah.
and flash, I really even hate to say this, but hell, just headlines WWE
I agree
because
with you completely.
because the fallout from Sammy winning the title is crazy to me.
It was 1999 all over again when Mick Foley won.
No, no, it's worse.
If you want to compare it to something,
Yeah, but it's three times worse because like again, you know me, and I don't knock anyone in particular for their views and how they feel about things. But I've saw so many older performers talk shit about Sammy and the WWE because they gave him this run. and I'm dumbfounded by it. And it's almost like, damn, I understand people being jealous and upset and all that, but they shitting on Sammy for no reason. Uh,
One in particular that stands out is Val Venus.
that's
Okay, so here's my take on it. Okay, I like Val. I've met Val, nice guy, super guy. All right, but I really believe, and we're trying to get him on the show, on the other show. If we can, and never say never. You never
right.
know.
Of course.
The one thing I've learned in wrestling is don't hold your breath. Right?
Oh yeah,
You just never know. But look, here's the deal, man. When I see what Val Venus is putting out, it's purely click bait. It's purely him trying to gain attention for 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 whatever reason it is. And dude, honestly, I can understand it if it was coming from someone with a name, someone with a little bit of whole, I don't know what words I'm looking for here, but someone who's relevant, I guess. Let's call it being someone who's relevant. This
right.
guy literally sounds like a keyboard warrior in his own basement. I'll give him the credit. He doesn't probably live in his mom's basement, but
Oh yeah.
he basically sounds like that. Yeah, you had a great physique, this and that, but you were nothing more than a mid card wrestler, man.
And you brought up Val. I'm gonna tell you somebody else who just kind of blew my mind is Bob Holly. Bob
He's the
Holly.
American version of Val Venus with the comments these days.
Again, no disrespect to them for what they did
No,
for
no,
the,
none.
but there are there are headliners, there are mid carders. Pardon my pardon my French, but there are jobbers. There's different levels to this, and for and everybody has a right to their opinion. I'm not saying they don't, but for barely a mid carder, Bob Holly has the audacity to talk shit about Sammy and what Sammy can draw and what he can't draw. When did when did Bob Holly ever make anybody like, oh shit, I got to go see this?
Well, I mean, I kind of responded to Bob Holly because I kind of said like enough's enough, Bob. You know what I mean? And I actually went at him on Twitter and I said, hey, weren't you spark plug Bob Holly at one time? The race car driver guy. Like, I mean, let's talk about it. Let's talk
Yeah,
about it, right? Like
hell yeah,
you got
we're
you
gonna
got
do some Trick Williams up in here.
well, dude. Honestly, straight up, like you got Bob Holly in the States, you got Val Venus in Canada. Both body guys. I get it, but you know what though? You had the physiques that they wanted, but still, it wasn't enough, right?
You
Like
didn't have the it.
no,
No matter what. And again, let me be clear when I say this. It's not out of disrespect that I am
no,
talking about them.
no, no.
But and again, you have your rights to your opinion. And I appreciate that and understand that. But my argument for you, both of them, is for all the stuff that you know and you accomplished, never once did you main event any fucking thing
Ooh.
except in these shows. Again, no disrespect, but that's the truth. It would have hit different if God rest his soul, Hulk Hogan would have said something. It hit different if Stone Cold Steve Austin said something. It would hit different if The Rock says something
I
because
completely
they
agree.
have been main eventers.
Yeah, yeah,
They've
yeah, yeah.
done it, been there.
Well,
Again,
these are just jealous guys
it,
that didn't get the rub that they thought they should have gotten. And like at the end of the day, when you're barely got your hand on the intercontinental title picture, forget the belt, just the picture, the story of it, like that's saying something, right? Like, I mean, I'm
the, only,
sorry, you were
the
gimmicks,
only way you got a world title shot is because somebody broke your neck.
right? But they never even got that. Like Val Venus
No, no,
never
no.
had.
Bob got the title shot at Royal Rumble, but it
Yes.
wasn't the main event. It was a one and done,
Yeah.
and you had to get your neck broke before they will even put you in that spot.
Well, that's it.
So
That's it. Right. Look, these are just older guys that probably didn't, maybe they didn't spend their money or save their money wisely. Maybe they're just looking for new opportunities. Maybe this is just the way, because look, there's two sides to this story. Okay. For all the people cheering for Sammy, there's a ton. And this is what makes it the weekend story of all stories, because the people shitting on the man are really shitting on him. The people embracing him and loving him are really embracing him. This is a 50-50 split right down the middle in terms of this victory. And I called it to you, man. I said to you, this is what
yes,
the
you did.
outlash is going to be. This is how
Yes,
it's going to break down, and
you
and
you sure did. And what's amazing me, honestly, is I didn't expect it to be this severe. I really didn't. Again, I get when certain people win titles that you don't expect, or you say, hey, they're not title worthy. I
yeah,
get that.
yeah,
But this seems damn near personal with the people that hate Sammy. I don't know.
because we live in a personal world now, Bear, where people are so, like we've talked about this in the past, maybe not on this show, but just in life in general, how people hide behind the keyboard, how people
Oh yeah,
are 250 pounds suddenly, can lift boulders and mountains and do all these things behind the keyboard. But if you face them face to face, they're the most timid, most insignificant little people in the world. And I don't mean that with any disrespect, but I mean, if
all
this
right,
is what it is. And people are ruthless with their words. People don't have any decorum. People don't have you know, any je ne sais quoi. We're talking about part of my French. Well, here's a little French for you too. Like, I mean, we just live in this world where people are not afraid anymore, of,
yeah,
of consequence and facing consequence, because we're afraid to have people face the reality of what's really out there. And this is a prime example of it. Like, look, does Sami Zayn deserve it? Like, I mean, a lot of people say, well, no, he doesn't. I'll say, yeah, he does, just because of his tenure. And honestly, he won it clean. He won it clean. There was no controversy. And he beat Cody. Of all the guys in that match, he pinned him.
that
Okay.
which was perfect. Again, you called when we talked about it both days. You told me, hey, this will be perfect. And then once you said where it was, and I was like, damn, you're right. This will be perfect. Then initially, of course, in my head is like, well, because we say it's perfect and we see it, they're not gonna do that. And damn, did they not do it? And it was so I cannot wait to see SmackDown to see what Cody's response is.
I
That
think Cody
is,
goes away for a while.
I, hey,
Or
it's
if
gonna be
not,
interesting though.
put him in a feud that has nothing to do with the title right now. Honestly,
Oh,
I personally feel Sammy could hold this now until January.
I don't
You
think
know,
he will.
no, maybe not, but I wouldn't be surprised not. I don't think this is going to be a month thing. This is going to be like a Jay Uso title reign, where you're going to get about, he's probably going to have two defenses, which he'll win,
Right,
which will solidify him as a champion then, right? I mean, I
right.
don't care if it's wrestling, I don't care if it's boxing, okay? I mean, and I say that because one is legit and one is the sport that we love, as Gunther would say.
Right.
Okay. And I understand the concept behind both. But for me, regardless of what we know wrestling to be, for me, a champion is only a champion after his first defense.
You understand? Definitely understand.
I look at that
And
in boxing as well. Like, yeah, you won the world championship. Congratulations, man. Defend it once and you're solidified as a champion now.
exactly.
That's the way I look at it. Nothing to take away. Like, yes, you're
No,
still a champion if you won. I'm not saying that that's not to be fair,
right.
but that just cements you as a champion.
I think with this, it just depends on which way they want to go with it. is Sammy gonna be the chicken shit heel who runs away,
Now,
or will he be the because they've been doing such a good job with the dynamics of Sammy. Is he fully a heel? Is he fully a face? He's been tweening. I love the the last good guy shirt. I love that
oh no, I love it.
concept.
I love it too. And then this is a thing I wanted to bring up as well. Like, finally, he gets it and everything. But did they need to make him a heel to get it? You know what I
I
mean?
think,
Like, I almost feel bad
oh
that they
yeah,
had to, like, I mean, it's such a beautiful thing. It's such a good feeling thing, right? And it sucks that we have to wait all Friday until we see something here. But that being said, I think a lot of this will play out now once we see what Jay Uso has to say. Like, there's just so many working pieces here right now, man, that this can go in any direction. Okay. Where does
right.
Oba go? He won. Did he tap out? I don't know. I mean, there's just stories.
And then they did a great job. Again, they did a great job for setting up something that could easily go a different route. Now Gunther has Nick Aldis. Nick could come out of retirement and have a match.
Good.
That's is it, like you said, they have so many working pieces, and this is when, for me, where I love wrestling. You don't have one particular thing, and especially when I didn't see it, when you swerve me to make me not see it, I'm happy because it's like, okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Now maybe I can either even if I didn't like what they did, if it's a swerve to make sense, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I know. And I had no problem with the victory. And again, it was clean, man. It was like a clean victory. That's what shocked me the most, that there was nothing involved. I mean, and there was no underhand tactics. It was legit 3 versus 3, or three, triple threat. You know what I mean? In that sense, like, there was no favoritisms. There was nothing else like that. And Cody being the guy getting pinned, does that say something about Cody and his ego to let it happen to him?
No, again, as much as people are getting tired of Cody has a brilliant mind.
Yeah,
You, he's his he's his father's son.
sure.
He knows how to play into different things. It sets it sets up where could we possibly have a double turn? Could Cody actually go to the dark side and bring Sammy back to the good side? Like you said, there's so many different elements playing with this that I like Cody's understanding. Even when we are tired of Cody's smart enough to Cody sees these responses. That's why one of the most brilliant things Cody ever said that it broke me was when he said he's going to show them why he's Cody Raheem Rhodes. That broke me.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, you can hate, whatever. You
Yeah.
can't tell me Cody ain't smart and knows
No,
the damn business.
no, no, no. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. You know what? If they were going to do the turn thing, I thought it should have happened in that match. I think now it seems a little redundant. I mean, it still can be done. But right now, like I said, I think it's in a holding pattern right now because we got a whole week of people to yell and scream and be upset. And it now comes down to, what are they going to do with it? How
Yeah.
do they play with this? What are they going to use it as? I mean, between him and Triple H, they should be dead. If comics were bullets, these guys would
Woo.
be riddled right now. And it's just a curious, where do we go now? Where does this go? How does this, kind of work out? Um, you know, Solo's still involved in this somehow.
And the brilliance of them breaking away from Solo. What
Are we getting Bullet Club?
exactly?
It feels like it.
Because look, you got Finn over there, original leader. Then you can easily throw Shinsuke in that. He has ties.
Original member, right?
No, Shinsuke was never Bullet Club.
Okay, but Tama was original member too.
Yes, he original. Yes, him and Finn. It started with Carl Anderson
Yeah,
and
Luke
I can't
Gallows.
remember the guy's name. He's still
Gallows.
in man.
Luke.
No, no, no. He's a Samoan too. I can't remember. I think he's Samoan, but he's still in New Japan.
Okay, okay.
But
Well, like I said, I
it,
mean, you. Well, look, I
you,
think that story had been starting. That story was started to be told early with Shinsuke and Tama, though,
exactly.
before Finn ever got there. So it's just like you got to give these guys a little credit. Now, I think you see the long term planning and what they're trying to get at here. And that's just something we're going to look at here. But let's look at this card very quickly.
Yes.
Outside of that match, I think the best match on the card, in my opinion, was a Braun Breaker Seth Rollins cage match. That thing was killer. These guys went to town, and the ending, even though Seth won, it left me wondering, where does Braun go from here?
Uh,
Because the storytelling at that moment where Seth was standing in the corner, ready to drop it again, and Braun's on his knees looking at him. This is a very WEW moment, AEW moment for me. You know what I mean? He's standing there
yeah.
looking at him like, I don't care. What do you got? Right? I'm not going to give up. I'm going to go out on my shield. He does this
Right.
little thing like this. This is the thing that I took away from this entire show. Every match was clean. Every outcome was clean. Everything that you and I talked about leading up to the show. Oh, she's going to interfere. Well, this guy will interfere. Oh, we're going to see Bronson Reed come back. Not a soul interfered in any of these matches.
Well, one.
Well, I mean, okay, forget Chelsea. We said that one was going to
No,
happen that
no,
way.
yeah, we said Chelsea, but I was shocked with Charlotte.
Charlotte coming up because I think they're going to start a
Yeah,
storyline
no, they're
here.
definitely going to Charlotte and Jade at SummerSlam.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the story right there, right now, right? I mean, that's
Right,
we can see that in the sand right now.
right.
But overall, that whole card did maybe that was the surprise that no one was going to interfere. Io won clean. You know what I mean? Maybe she was cursed. Maybe Liv was cursed going into the match. I don't know. But I mean, they threw that out there as well. And once you're cursed, you're kind of cursed, right?
It's
Uh,
over.
right. So Io, we know now is going, like we said, on to SummerSlam to face her. So we already know
Oh,
that she announced it. She
oh,
announced it in the ring.
oh, she did.
Right afterwards, she announced
Oh,
it,
okay.
and she looked at Liv and said, "I will see you at SummerSlam."
Oh, okay.
Right? She did her whole little thing, and so we know that match was going to happen anyways, and I believe Io is going to win it there too. Um, unless something happens, but I mean, we have a long time before we have to predict that show, so we have a
Right.
little bit of time to work with there. Braun losing again. Does he come out? Are we starting to see the gradual transition of Braun Breaker now back to a face? Like it's kind of interesting. Like the dynamics are interesting here, right? Like I mean,
Yeah.
the story's done.
Um, I really don't understand why Seth didn't need this. Seth didn't need it. Now I understand where they're going to end up going with it. It's going to be Seth and Roman, but you did not need him. Because I'm looking at it two ways. One, if Seth would have lost and still would have got the title shot, that would have kind of looked bad, put Braun in a bad spot. But having him lose also puts him in a bad spot
I
because
disagree
now
though.
Huh?
I disagree, but go ahead.
Okay. But I just feel like it puts Braun in a bad spot because now name a time that Braun stepped up to the plate to win the big one. Yes, he beat Self before, but they act like it was some kind of fluke or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I don't know what they're gonna do with Braun.
Well, this is
And
what I'm saying. That ending left it open. You know, the way the match ended. This is what I love about this show that we do. We're focused on the stories, right? And this
right,
storytelling was done really well. All right, both showed up. I mean, that spot off the top of the cage, both injury prone guys to pull that off through a table. You know, that was a sick spot. Okay. And we get that every week on Dynamite, and we get that spot every pay-per-view on Dynamite. It's special in WWE because we don't get that high spot like that all the time,
right,
especially with
true,
two big men like that. Okay. And
right.
I'm going to segue to the AEW stuff because I have a question about that, what I just talked about. I think what it does for Braun, it gives him a spot now, like, okay, what's going on? You know, like I am the strongest guy. That match reminded me of John Cena, Braun, and John Cena, Brock Lesnar. Not the one where Brock came back after his UFC run. This is before he left, where Brock was Cena at that time in the same
Right.
sense. Okay. And Brock beat him. Well, we got to put this guy over. But no, you didn't need to. That just made his character better in the long run. And that's what I kind of see going on here. We can argue this with Gunther. Now we can put Braun in there as well. I think there's something out there that Braun has lost to 40-year-olds in his last 5 matches. Okay. You know, the older roster. But sometimes you got to go through that piece as well. Because look, one, there's just too many factions in wrestling. Okay. I don't think we need the vision, to be honest.
Well, and the way everybody got hurt, it 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 split it from what the vision they had for the
Yeah.
vision
Yeah.
is not it can't hasn't worked because of injury. So yes, I definitely agree. Split them apart,
I think
let them go on their own.
Braun needs to have a single run that's just focused on him. Even as tag team champion, he just didn't look right there.
He
Okay.
was a filler.
He was a
He was a
filler,
filler.
and that's, nothing against, Austin Theory, nothing against anyone else. Honestly, I just think Braun needs to break away from this, and he needs to establish himself on his own. And I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, he definitely.
Why is Trick doing amazing things where it should be Braun doing amazing things? It's because
I was
he's
gonna,
not affiliated to anything. He's building his own character. He's building his own name. And I think
I
it's
was
time
gonna
for
say
Braun to break away from that.
they definitely have to go back to the beginnings with Braun because if you look when he came up to the roster, he was solo, and look at all the stuff he accomplished
Yeah.
by himself.
Exactly. So I think right now the best thing for him to do, and I think this is going to line up nicely. I think Oba picks, unless they do something here, because I want to see the fallout of Jey Uso not winning. What Roman are we going to get on Monday night if he's there on Monday night? Okay.
Right.
Where does this go? You had the job to win this, and this was your thing. Blah blah blah. Are they going to play on that Oba tapped? Is that something down the pipeline that we're going to get to here? Maybe this isn't as clear cut as Oba picking Roman. There's more to this, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't be put out there the way it is. But Oba beat him clean. It means Oba's probably going to want to go after Roman. Okay. Or Sammy looks like the easier title,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? I mean, it's the easiest path.
There, and like I said, and we talked about on the emergency episode, man, the money is Roman and Seth, even though it's not, it wouldn't be WrestleMania. SummerSlam is just as big.
I agree, but I think now what you do with Seth, because I think this fight has to be a mania fight. It can't be You can have matches here and there splattered around, but the main course needs to be delivered to us at Mania. It's from now to Mania is how they plan this story, is what's going to be interesting. And there's enough guys involved where I almost get the feeling that Cody takes the role of Seth Rollins in this feud. And he's there as his support pillar as he goes through everyone. Because they're not going to feed up Roman right away. He's going to have to go
Oh
through
no.
this boss and that boss and this and that. And who knows if Solo's going to be a part of it at that time. Maybe we're going to get that faction that goes against them because Solo's adamant that he wants nothing to do with these guys. And now that they've taken everything away from him,
Yeah.
and Drew's in the
Like
wing.
you
You got
said,
enough guys, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Solo Sikoa. You can probably throw a couple more dudes in there and create a faction against the bloodline. So you got that aspect of it as well,
yeah.
right?
And like
You can throw in Royce Keys into
yes.
the mix as well, right? All these guys have all now been connected to the storyline indirectly, directly. So this is a great time to be a WWE fan. And the people not watching, you're missing out on a great product. I get it, like a lot of people talk, it's ratings, it's ratings, it's ratings. It's all about numbers. Numbers don't lie. Well, we created numbers. Okay. Numbers are human created. They weren't created naturally. But I'm not arguing that. I just wanted to throw that out there because I've thrown some
Right.
philosophical shit out there. Um, But the reality of it is, like, I get it, numbers are numbers. But you know what, though? It doesn't necessarily reflect on how good the show actually is. Now, I know for a fact that my brother in arms, Mr. Chance Michaels, is going to have a field day with the shitty ratings of SmackDown last week and this and that. But you know what? I'll say to him and I'll say to you, the show was leaked online. Okay. People had the show was legit leaked online before it even happened. This is the problem when you pre-tape a show. Okay. People are going to find out what's going on. You told me stuff I didn't even know on Friday because I didn't realize, right?
Right.
That's why that happened. I'm not saying that it's not just one time. Yeah, the ratings are low, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But man, you're missing a good show. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm
But
gonna say.
for me, it's more of what they're doing. And for everything that I have beaten WWE up about, I will give them credit that they are putting on more great matches with good with good storylines behind it. It makes me
Absolutely.
want to see.
And
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 that,
that's
that
that's all I've been
I
asking
like you
people to
said,
do.
I don't care if I'm the only one watching. You got my attention. So
Hey
I
man,
don't care.
it's not for everybody. Okay. Like I will go to see a film on my own if nobody wants to go because it's what I want to see. It's not necessarily what the masses want to see, right? And that's the
Exactly.
same with anything, right? So people missing out on it, you're missing out on a great show. But the problem is the people not watching are the ones that have the heavy voice on how crap this is, how crap that is, blah, 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 blah. Like, dude, wrestling changes from generation to generation. All the people claiming bloody Murray, bloody murder, and all these kind of things are people that come from the attitude era or now the ruthless aggression era. You know what I mean? That was the best era of wrestling. Well, you know what? If you ask my dad, the best era of wrestling was the 70s.
Right.
You ask
Just
his
like
dad, the best generation of wrestling was the 60s.
I mean, hell, I came through the attitude era and I will argue with anybody that they wasn't as great as you say they were.
Well, brother, you and I can specifically say that we maybe didn't come through the 70s per se, but we were there, but we didn't come through there. 80s,
Exactly.
80s when we were little kids.
Yep.
Okay, like legit little children is in the 80s. When we thought it was all real, when we really
Oh
believed
yeah.
the hero and the anti-hero, the good guy versus the bad guy. The formula was very simple then. Everything changed when Stone Cold decided to change it all. Okay. It was hard to be a good guy. It was hard to be a heel, because everybody wanted you to be a little bit of both. And you can see that's the shift in the world.
Right.
right? The Attitude Era worked because it was what we weren't getting.
Exactly.
Okay, there was no internet, there was none of this other stuff. We're finally getting the stuff that we wanted without the, colorful language and everything else that would have made it complete. If they had swearing during the Attitude Era, hands down, greatest era of wrestling, because it's the most real, most realistic version of the product that we could get in terms of day-to-day life. Okay. Then everyone shit on the ruthless aggression era. Everyone shit on John Cena. Oh, what the hell is this guy? Who's he? Well, then he became the face that ran the place for 10 years, longer than The Rock, longer than Stone Cold, longer than Hulk Hogan. Shit, man. You can combine all three of those guys, and Cena was still on top longer than all of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So it just shows the fickleness of society.
And
No one's
that's it.
satisfied with anything.
And that's the thing. If you're not happy unless you're complaining.
Well, I don't complain, man. I don't complain because I just
Well,
enjoy what's in front of us. No,
you
no,
know
no. I know
where
what you're saying. I know what you're saying. And that's, like I said, I think honestly, they put on a great show over the weekend. I have no
yeah.
complaints with it at all. And that being said, I will give WWE the nod in terms of the biggest weekend, getting the biggest story out there. Tony Khan and gang had 24 hours to figure out how they can combat this because they know at this point, waking up Sunday morning, oh shit, no one's talking about our show. No one's interested in our show. Like outside of their fans, their main core, fans, majority of the wrestling world was too busy complaining
Shit.
about Sami Zayn or embracing Sami Zayn. Okay. And that's what we got all weekend. So we walk into AEW Forbidden Door, presented to you by AEW CMML, New Japan Wrestling, and Stardom. Okay, so we have four promotions here on this show. Show starts at 5 p.m. I'm gonna tell you what, man. Up and I don't know. Maybe you need to go back and take a look at this, or maybe I'm wrong, or maybe my eyes were just blurring over. Because keep in mind, Barry, like forget the wrestling. I had a bunch of boxing that I had to consume too.
Yes, I saw that. I saw
Right,
that.
right. So I had all that stuff going on as well at the same time. Here's my takeaway from AEW: great show, great matches. Again, great, entertaining matches. Okay. I need you to go back and you can't answer this unless unless you already
Okay.
have the answer, but I'll give you the grace to go back and then, let me know. When I watched WWE and when I watched NXT the next day, I'm just looking at the production value, the color, the brightness, the inviting feeling of it all. And then I turn on to TNA or TNA and somewhat what WWE was giving us. But then I go to AEW, and until that cage match, I felt they had the lights on dim. Like just the setup was very dim. It was just very old school. Like it's like they were using a filter of old school, kind of lighting or something. Because it's just like I'm just at that point of the time, you're like, okay, how do you want to keep me engaged if it's not bright? Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you understand my point?
Yes, no, no, no. I get it.
Am I
And
being
as far
nitpicky?
as you actually said the answer that I'm going to give, it's it's more of a sports atmosphere build. It's old school. It's like looking at old Jim Crockett, where it's bright, but it's not poof. It's not
It's
wow.
dusty. It's dusty.
Yes, yes. And what honestly I believe is AEW's hardcore value is their yes, they could match WWE in terms of getting the lights brighter and different things. But I think they're more concerned about the wrestling. Like they said, this is where the wrestling is.
Yeah.
And honestly, yes, they have a little sports entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
but their main core value is pro wrestling.
Hmm.
And to me, when we look at both shows, like I said, Sammy's win is going to be the top talked about thing. But if you go terms of match, I challenge anyone to put anybody against Swerve and Will.
Okay, okay, and I'm glad we're there. Okay, so I wrote a bunch of notes down here. Okay, because I knew that most of my criticisms would come here,
Right.
and not intentionally. It was just because I maybe I put that show under a microscope. Maybe I did,
Understand?
and you know what? No, not maybe I did. Okay,
It's understandable too,
okay, and
because when you have so many events, I don't. When you go up, when you have the first to the last, you if you see something in that first one that you enjoy, you immediately you're gonna compare everything else to that,
I
and
think a
that's just
lot of
human
it,
nature.
yeah, I agreed, but I think a lot of it also had to do because this was Sunday and I was at my wits' end in terms
Right.
of consumption. And I think for me to be engaged and to really buckle
You
in for four
you're
fucking
tired.
hours, for four
You're
hours.
tired.
And
You
on top
burnt.
of that, I got Screaming Joe in the other room dealing with that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, it's been a long weekend and a very, very long night for me. Uh, you know, it's crazy to watch the sun rise, the sun set and rise again,
Yeah.
and you're still looking for your pillow.
That plays with your mind. It
It's
really
okay though.
does.
It's okay. God bless. I mean, it allows me to be here right now. Okay.
Right.
Oh, hey, AEW just finished. It's officially 12 hours. Just got to throw that out there. Okay, so I believe I'm just gonna go back to my notes here really quick because I bothered you last night. I should have done this somewhere else on a notepad or something, but I just have my phone open. Um, what did I write here? Okay, so blah blah blah. I'm gonna start with this right off the bat. When it came to the production and everything, I kind of watched. I kept flipping back and forth between NXT and the first half of the show because I was just more intrigued by the colors. I'm intrigued by the brightness. It was more
Right.
engaging. It was warm on a cloudy night in Vancouver for me, right? And I'm not saying NXT was a better show or anything. NXT did what it was supposed to do. If you haven't
Right.
watched it, go back and watch it. Great match at the end between Kendall Gray and Lola. I thought that was the best match of the night. I think NXT is in a transitional phase right now where they have a lot of these guys up there and girls up there that need to establish themselves a bit more before we go any further. Okay. Now I'm gonna go back to my other set of notes here that I wrote. And I apologize if anyone says anything. I wrote this down before they started that shit with the dynamite ring. Okay. Lilo Rush is a black golem, is what I wrote.
You said
Okay.
it before too. You said
Okay.
it before.
Lilo Rush is a black golem. And I wrote this down. And next thing I know, that little dude is going after MGF's ring. He wanted his ring.
Ah,
I can't write this any better. And you got to take my word for it, brother. I literally wrote that down. And then that MJF shit started.
what two things I found just super hilarious is one, well, let's give AEW credit. The
Okay.
do a different type of ring was a bold choice for them. I think it worked. I think it intrigued so many people seeing a circular ring. I have to
Dude, they
give
got
them
about
that.
it in a duffel bag. That's the best part.
Yeah.
And then they
Oh,
took him
I was
back.
getting to that. I was getting to that. The
No
again, like I said,
Danhausen, but shit, he's funny.
I will say this. As much as I always holler AEW is wrestling, they believe in wrestling. They do have sports entertainment. And the beautiful part was first thing happened, Roderick Strong brings a bag out and start hitting people with it. Then He puts the bag back. Then they go pull the bag out to open it. And then Leo Rush goes out. God, I fell out laughing. And
Okay.
I thought to myself, who in the hell booked this?
No,
They
dude,
need
it
a,
was funny. It
they
was
need a
funny.
raise.
Okay, so
They need a raise.
okay, brother, now you've said this a few times right now, okay? You've said sports entertainment in AEW or AEW, okay? It's a wrestling company. Their main focus is wrestling, and sports entertainment is kind of their secondary thing. And when they do it, it's special because it's far and in between.
Yes.
Now, this is the one note that I wrote down, and I thought of you specifically. I want to ask you this. It's a blind ask.
Okay.
I could have prepared you for this. When I watched that show last night, and that when I watched that Swerve and when I watched the Swerve and Osprey match, amazing wrestling. Okay, amazing storytelling. 5-star match through and through and through and through and through. No issues with it. Kenny Omega, Zack Sabre Jr. You have to be a wrestling fan to appreciate what you saw there. All
Yes.
right. And I'll go down the line with Monet and Maya World, same thing. Okay.
They made a superstar
In Maya
last
World.
night.
Okay.
Yes.
Ekla versus what was her name?
Starlight Kid.
Starlight Kid. Phenomenal. I wrote here, and I think I texted you that Tekla is probably the biggest heel in wrestling, in my opinion,
Yes, you did.
because what she did at the end of that match hit me harder than if it was a man doing it, because you don't expect those kind of things from a girl.
Yes.
Okay. It was kind of like seeing titties in the 80s on TV. They were far and in between, but when you saw a pair of titties, you were at
Yeah.
school and all you and your buddies were talking about, man, did you see the titties on TV?
Yep.
That was the only time in our lives, Bear, that we got free titty. Okay. Tekla doing the things that she's doing on that show, it's just unreal because you don't expect that kind of viciousness from a woman.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that she's that evil, she's more evil than Marina Schaefer, in my opinion, in AEW right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Mariah, May, Tony Storm, none of these girls can do anything that this girl has done so far. I'm going to give the credit where credit is due. Okay.
Okay.
Every match on that card was great. That circular cage, beautiful concept. I loved it. Okay. That match, the one match that I wasn't really interested in, okay.
Right.
And I believe I texted you. I said, I have a feeling these guys are going to turn on him. Now, the whole team didn't, but Andrade did, of all the guys. So that's an interesting concept as well.
I saw it coming, knew it was coming.
I just felt it in the energy when they were coming out.
Right.
You know, it was just too.
They kept the tease going.
And they couldn't hide it, right? I'm glad that MJF got involved in the match. I'm glad that he actually fought, like he actually participated. Like I thought he would just hide and run around. I thought he would let everyone else do the work for him, and he would just kind of, be MJF. But he was right in there. And my favorite spot of all time right now is the broom taking the tacks out of the ring. Okay,
that's the second time he's done that. And
right?
but even as stupid as the broom spot was, getting the nuts with it.
Yeah, no, and it was done well.
That's some of the brilliance of MJF.
Yeah,
the most simplest things he can make seem super.
absolutely. And
spot.
right. So I got to tie this up because this is coming to your question. You got to love how I build your question.
Right.
Okay. So I've done nothing but give praise to that entire show right now. Okay.
Yes.
Is AEW stale? Now let me build it up a little bit. Okay. Every match was killer. Every match, well, not every match. I would say up until Moxley. Nothing against Moxley and Bandito. Up until that match, I wasn't interested in the show. To be fair, It was
Right.
just slow. It didn't pick up until we got to. I don't think it picked up until we got to Monet and Maya World. That
Okay.
last half of the show for me was the show. Okay, the Young Bucks match was great, great wrestling. AEW's a wrestling company. We go wrestling first, sports entertainment second. Now, the reason I'm asking you this is AEW stale because the matches are all the same. They're great. They're amazing matches, but are they stale now because we all expect it and the formulas are all the same? As great as the broken wing and all these spots and this and that, I've seen that match between Will and Swerve before.
Right.
I've seen Maya versus Monet before in terms of the quality, in terms of what they're giving us. Okay. The names are interchangeable, but the formulas are the same. Does AEW need to do something to change up that formula? Because the best part of it was the sports entertainment segment.
Um,
You know what I'm asking?
no, yeah, no, I got you. I definitely understand. So for me,
Yeah.
I don't think that they need to change. I don't think they're being stale. I think a part of it is when you have storylines, good storylines, there are spots during a good storyline that can easily seem like, okay, this is starting to bore me.
Hmm.
Where's the payoff?
Hmm.
Where's the payoff? And the reason I say that is they've been doing pretty much the same thing. Now, again, AEW versus WWE in pay-per-views. You know, a couple things you know with AEW off the rip. One, you better bring an energy drink because you're going to be there, and put your garbage cans out and let your neighbors know they're going to have to turn on the lights for you and all that good jazz.
Maybe bring a sleeping bag.
Yeah, make sure you call in for the kids because they ain't going to make it to school.
Well, he schools out.
Oh hell, but it started in school, so you know they still doing it. So
Does the
uh
5 hour show benefit them though?
I well, and see that is the kicker to most people's feel for AEW, I think. Because I hear it all the time, and I understand that sometimes too much wrestling will burn you out. I truly understand, especially this weekend. Lord have mercy. Between going to a live show, watching all these pay-per-views, I'm a little burnt. Plus, looking at a lot of independent stuff I've been looking at. So yes, I get where that can burn you out. But in the same token, how many times have you heard, oh, WWE gave us only 5 matches. That's not enough. Oh my God, these are you hear this, you hear both complaints. You hear it's not enough, it's too much. Not enough, too much. And the way I truly look at it, for a pay per view, I'm spending 30, $40 on a show. They're giving me 6 hours, and that, like you said, don't even include the pre-show. They give you 4 or 5 hours. I would rather know that I'm spending that much money and knowing I'm going to get matches. What and the quality can vary. You can have the greatest matches or the subpar matches, but you know you're going to have some in the whole show. It's going to be quality versus a short pay per view with short matches, and I feel like I did other things. I could be doing other things with my time.
Okay, okay.
Now,
Yeah.
with that being said, too,
Hmm, hmm.
I don't fault anyone for the feeling over and everything, but these are things that we say and complain about. So again, we have to be careful for saying things without thinking, because a lot of times we will say, "Oh God, please bless me with this." God give you what you asked for. Then you're complaining that it's too much. God, why? If I could just do this, God. Again, we have to be careful and mindful of what we say and what we ask for, because when we get it, then we're complaining we get it.
Okay. Let me put it this way. Let me ask a question this way then.
Okay.
In the 80s, Hulk Hogan was an attraction.
Yes.
Okay, in essence, okay.
No, yeah, no,
He
he
wasn't
was.
on Superstars. He wasn't on the week to week. Mind you, at that time there wasn't a week. Well, there was, but everything was
Yeah,
pre-taped from all the house shows
right, of
to
course.
give us one show called Superstars. Okay,
Yes.
and that's the way wrestling was. You might get Hogan on there cutting a promo, but you didn't get to see Hogan until the big show because it
Correct.
was special to see him. Andre was an attraction,
Yes.
right? Then we started to shift into this portion of the world where we saw the champion every week. We saw the big guys, that are supposed to be attractions all the time. When I apply that to WAEW, what I guess the question is, are fans starting to get desensitized to these spots that in the beginning made me go like a broken wing, or some of the stuff that was happening in the Swerve match and the Osprey match last night, 8, 9, 10, 2, 3 years ago, I would have been like, oh my God, wow. But now I watch it, it's kind of like, in
Right.
1990, and again, I'll use a real example. In 92, when the whole Iraq war started, and CNN for the first time ever had live footage of the stuff going down. And everyone's like, oh, wow, wow, amazing. Not amazing, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
we're
yeah, no. Oh my
right.
God. Yeah.
But now look at the world today, completely desensitized to any of that because it's so commonplace.
Yeah.
Decapitations are so commonplace that people aren't even phased anymore.
Well, look at the school shootings.
Well, that's what I mean. So in terms of wrestling in AEW, I think that's the point I'm trying to make. Is it become desensitized that the fact that the sports entertainment portion of it was more exciting than the crimson mask that Swerve was wearing?
Uh,
Do you see my point
I,
now? Do you see where I'm
no,
getting
no,
at?
no. I understand your point,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I get it. But
Do they need
I,
to
I
change something?
I think about it like this. We could easily get desensitized to a lot of different things.
Sure.
Like WWE, for example, their B cards. We've gotten so sensitized to the B cards ain't gonna be shit.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
just be real.
yeah.
And then now they throw little nuggets out there now. They have something take place at a beach. I was like, oh shit. Wow. I wasn't expecting that. They're just over in hell, Italy.
Yeah.
Damn, Urban fans. But now everybody's starting to do different things
To bring it up.
to try things up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
And well, for me, and I get where you are like, okay, I've seen them do this spot before. I've seen this spot before. It's not so exciting as it would have been or it has been.
in the past, absolutely.
Right, right. But I look at it as it's the way we look at things.
I
And
appreciate that, but that was AEW's claim to fame, was having these kind of matches on a consistent basis, which people wanted to see all the time, right?
right.
That was their fan base. So, at what point do these people start to say, "Okay, give us something else"?
Well, this
Instead of a triple 340 corkscrew, now we want to see a 455 corkscrew.
right. And just like anything else, we all get tired of the same old, same old. So you have to do a slow turn. And with the sports entertainment part of it, it's a slow turn
Yeah,
for a serious wrestling show.
sure,
But it still is not driven away from the seriousness of the show. Um, Look at the storyline that Will and Swerve told. It
yeah,
wasn't just about their matchups because Swerve has beaten Will more than Will has beaten Swerve.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It wasn't just about uh, Will trying to get to the world title shot in his hometown. It it was the story last year at this time they were together trying to stop the Death Riders.
Yeah. And now the Death
Now,
Riders were the ones training him.
exactly. You have so many different spinning plates. It depend. I think it depends on how what type of fan you are of the product. And
Sure.
the reason I say that is the same argument that I'm sitting here using now for that. It could be easily turned if I kept saying, well, I don't like the Sami, all that, blah, blah. But look at what the story they have told for Sami to get here.
No, 100%, 100%. And that's the difference between the two companies, right? And what I brought up to you, Bears, I have not seen anyone talk about that online or anything. This was just
Right.
something I was watching and thinking. Again, I'll give one more analogy just for people to understand where I'm going with this, just in case if they still trying to figure it out. And figure skating. Yeah, I'm going to bring up figure skating. Okay. I
Gonna get
remember,
all the figure skaters.
dude, honestly, I remember growing up and it was always about the triple axle, the triple axle. Then the quad axle came. Now everyone's doing the quad. So, you know what I mean? It's the same kind of thing. Like people aren't mesmerized by that move. People aren't tuning in anymore for that move. That being all said, WWE won the weekend, but AEW won the wrestling. But that wasn't enough to win the weekend overall, in my opinion. Okay.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, and
Uh,
that and so that's why I brought that question up to you because I'm just like, okay, well, why am I not doing the ahs anymore? The thing that got me at the edge of my seat was Tekla this weekend. The match that I called the bathroom break of the weekend was the match that left me, wow,
I think too,
taking her
it,
mask, all of it, just her viciousness.
I think a lot of it too has to do with what what the who the person is and what type of build. Because like now we didn't talk about this match. There was it was okay. It wasn't what I thought it would be, to be honest. And what got me was the surprise return. It was Cage and
Blade.
Cope against the Dogs.
Yeah,
And Switchblade came back.
yeah.
That popped me. If it Cage and Cope, the match itself, I would gave it a 3 stars. Hell, honestly, I could have probably even gave it 2.5. It
Honestly, I
wasn't
think in hindsight, I think that match was purely set up for the Bang Bang Club to come back out.
right. It looks that way. It feels that way.
Edge looked old.
Everything. Jay coming back is just like, oh shit, about time
Well, see,
now.
that's the thing. You got to be the AW guy to appreciate that, though, right?
Right. And it's like now, where are they gonna go with him? Would
Well,
Jay finally get his real chance to run for the title?
well, here's the thing. I think they came back as faces, but within a week or so, they should go back to who they truly were because that's what really worked for them. So let's see where this goes, right? I don't know.
Right.
But even that wasn't big enough to get them the weekend.
Well, no, and again with Sami winning, again, nothing that AEW did is going to top that.
No,
Again, even with
unfortunately.
the great match, I will argue pretty much that Will and Swerve had match of the year, but that still does not stop Sammy winning the title clean. Is the most thing everybody's talking about
100%, 100% bear.
now. Before
Look,
before we go to something else, I want to run through TNA real quick at a couple of things, just a couple of spots. One, everybody that mama knew Apollo Crews was gonna be there. He was there. He's went back to his Ooh Nation name.
Uli Nations, yeah, and he lost.
He lost, but I wasn't upset about it. At first, I thought I was gonna be bugged, but I I'm okay with it because
If he
not every
can,
time
if he
somebody
can,
makes
no, for
a
sure.
appearance, they don't need to win.
No, no, I get that. I just hope they use him properly and hope he gets ring time.
Yes, yes, I think
Okay,
he will.
I'll leave it at that.
Second thing is I think we both would call this. Nemeth won the title again.
Yeah,
And it's not about him winning the title. It's about, is Santana gone?
yeah,
I think we both are saying and know Santana's going to WWE.
yeah. If he's gonna come, he should come now because I feel anyone who joins the company September onwards, your stories don't start till after WrestleMania. You know what I mean? And that's when they're gonna start giving you a push. So if he's gonna join up now so you have a chance at Mania. Where does he
Well,
fit in there? I don't know, but
even if he gets up there, because everybody else who TNA they brought, they started at NXT.
well, it
So
started
does it?
NXT. I think NXT, he would benefit NXT right now because there is no one there to take that mantle.
They're retooling, and like you said, you said that you hadn't really paid it attention after Stand and Deliver. I've looked at it, see little things. I could tell you enough where I know what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. Same here. Same here. From that
And
perspective.
right now, the one thing I took from their show was this: they are doing them and themselves a disservice by having it on CW
Wow.
because
Okay.
because if you say the words premium live event, pay per view, whatever you call that part of the universe, and your show is on the regular channel that you watch the shows anyway, it takes something away from me. It's not special.
I
It's
want to
like,
see. I sound like Brother Chance here. I want to see the ratings only because I feel the reach, because yeah, that's only in the States. The rest of the world got it on Netflix, right? That was only
right,
available in the States on the CW.
oh,
Now,
okay,
granted, we get the local affiliate of CW here in Vancouver as well. It comes from Seattle. So we were going to get it regardless because if
right,
we
right,
have the
right,
US affiliate, right? On our cable
right.
package. I'm curious to see if they got more eyes on the product though, because it was available to more mainstream matches. Now, let me put it to you from this perspective, okay? The
Okay,
biggest competition of the weekend wasn't baseball. It was nothing else in terms of the big four sports because they're all on a hiatus. Baseball is the
right,
only thing that's out there right now for everyone. The
right,
only other thing that is competing against anybody is a World Cup.
right.
Okay. Yesterday, there was one game. It started at noon and it ended at 2,
Okay,
which is why I missed the first 2 hours of the TNA show because I was watching Canada advance to the round of 16. Okay, so very happy about that, right? First time in ever.
right,
And you know what? I mean, that advancement is going to affect this country for 20 to 30 years in terms of development. and the soccer program. Okay, I shy away from that. There's nothing else for people to watch now.
Right.
So you turn on the wrestling on CW, the mainstream people, like, oh shit, let's watch some wrestling. Right? You know what I mean? You probably got a lot of
Right.
those guys and gals out there just chuckling. I'm watching wrestling. You know,
Exactly.
right? Like it's kind of like that. So I'm kind of curious to see what kind of numbers they did overall. Um Santana going over there, I think it'd be really good because I think Tony D'Angelo is ready for the show. And I would love to see him and Braun Breaker do something together.
Here's funny fact. Did you
They're tighter
know?
than syrup, man.
Well, not even that. Did you know originally they were going to be a tag team?
There you go.
They were supposed to be a tag team.
And you look at
And they were gonna,
D'Angelo since he's come
and,
back.
and it's funny too because they were going to build them as the new Steiners.
I think they can still because you look at his physique since he came back from injury. I know he's been working out with Braun. They're
Oh
tight,
yeah,
right? Those two are two very close friends. So, it's kind of interesting, what they do there because Evil, the Japanese guy Evil,
hmm
my only knock on him is he's married to my favorite superstar,
yeah,
and that makes me sad because, but I like Evil. I like Evil, and I think him and Santana can do some work. And maybe that's the direction that we go in here, Bear. But I tell you what, man, I think it's time to wrap this baby up. We've been going back and forth and this and that. We got Monday Night Raw coming up this evening. I couldn't tell you what's on the program, but I'm sure there's a lot of fallout from Saudi Arabia and Night of Champions. I'm curious to see what they do. Is Roman going to be on the show? How are we going to approach this with Jay now? Does he belittle him? Does he put him down? Does he give him
oh,
credit? You know what I mean? This is the interesting
yeah.
part here. So,
And we get to see what the werewolf tell them.
well, we're gonna find out what's going on over there, right? Because it looks like Roman has brought him in as the real Solo Sokoa, right? That's what I bet you anything that's what they wanted for that role in the first rendition of this story, of this faction, of this family. So it's kind of curious. Like I feel like Roman's more heel than he's a tweener. It's like just the stuff that they're doing, right? Like Eric Andre, the beating that guy took. That's not a tweener beating. That's a full heel,
Yeah.
right? People are cheering for Roman and everything, but he's trying his hardest to be an asshole. I wish people could see that.
It's getting scary again.
Right? It's getting spirited. It's picking up, and I believe we're gonna get a civil war before we're even ready for a civil war.
Yeah.
Like there's four different groups that could be involved in this in some shape or the other. It's just going to be interesting to see how they all play out. We still have Drew on the sidelines. We still have all these other guys that aren't really in it, but are in it.
Yeah.
So
Easily.
let's wait to see how this all unfolds, to see what they're going to give us tonight. People, don't shit on it anything yet because hold your opinions. If you're not happy that Sami won, fine. That's the beauty of our democracy in the world that we live in, at least the part of the world that we live in, that we're able to say these things and do these things. Okay. And that's what makes it interesting. But I'll leave you with this before we go because Mama T, I know. Yeah, I know you have a dentist appointment. Okay. So we're going to get those guys lined up pretty soon here, but I'm going to leave it to here. Vince McMahon likes Sami Zayn. Vince McMahon liked Kevin Owens. So if Vince was running the show, I guarantee you that at some point that Sami would have been champion. The way he liked Brian, the way he liked Kofi, he would have given him a shot. I'm just saying that. And I'm
Okay.
not saying it's a long-term championship run, but I believe this will last till Survivor Series. And if it goes past Survivor Series, then I think he holds on to it until the first Raw of 2027 and he'll lose it there. Or the first SmackDown of 2027 and he loses there. Now, that all being said, watch, he loses it tonight. Right? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do here? All right. I am Bobby Sampson. He is
Professor Burr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are Professor and the Samp, your Monday morning recap show, I guess. I don't know if it's still a recap show or if we're evolving into something completely different. Regardless of what we are Professor and the Samp. We come at you every Monday.
And we appreciate it.
And we love it. And thank you. And let us know in the comments who won the weekend. And if we've missed anything, then I guess you'll probably see us again on Friday on an emergency podcast. On behalf of the Professor, I'm the Samp. Believe in yourselves, believe in your dreams, and tell everyone who doesn't believe in you to fuck off. Or Professor and Samp are out.
They're Professor and the Samp, yes, Professor and the Samp. One's a historian, the other loves to chat. They talk about the fights, all the slams and lights. It's wrestling mayhem day and night. They're Professor and the Samp, yes, Professor and the Samp. Their takes are quite insane, the wrestling world's their game. They break it down.